Welcome back. One of the big stories of the day, reforms have been gazetted for South Africa's visa program. Home Affairs Minister Leon Schreiber says the remote work visitor visa and the new points-based system for work visas will remove bureaucratic hurdles that have plagued the system. He's describing the reforms as fit for purpose and market friendly. Let's get some reaction now from Sanelisiwe, Social Policy Acting Director at Business Unity South Africa. Ms. Jantjies, thank you for being with us. Is this fit for purpose? Is this good for business?
Well, yes, definitely. I mean, the bulk of the changes are definitely business friendly. They are also what we have been asking for a while. If we are speaking to the Third Amendment of the immigration regulations, some of the changes within the points-based system, the remote work visa, definitely it's a massive congratulations to the Department of Home Affairs, and we are looking forward to working together.
Companies have been saying the previous system has really hampered their efforts to bring in scarce skills at a top level. Let's say a company wants a chief investment officer from overseas. How does this change the time, the hurdles, what's required to do that?
Well, first of all, you've mentioned the time and the hurdles. And when we are speaking of time and hurdles, we can look at the waiver letters that have just been gazetted. So previously, you needed both a SAQA and a professional body certification. But currently, the minister has made it quite easy for companies to do business in the sense that they are able to offer you a waiver, which can be then looked at a later stage after 12 months. So that's a massive win for the backlog within the system. If we're also looking at some of these individuals that were sitting in the system when we speak of the backlog, these new changes are going to make sure that all of this backlog, or most of it rather, is going to be cleared out in no time. We're also looking at some of the changes that the minister has brought about when it comes to some of the unauthorized requirements that were being dished out at the Border Management Authority. And we've now found out that the minister has given a couple of examples within the documents that he's gazetted today with respect to unnecessary requirements that are unlawful and cause this backlog. For instance, death certificate of applicants' parents, applicants' marriage certificates, applicants' divorce certificates, proof of specified bank balance, and all of these things were contributing to a system which was slowed down considering the amount of, or lack thereof, in terms of the manpower that's sitting at the Department of Home Affairs. So we are now looking for another example would be specifically pertaining to the Section 11A visas, which are business and holiday visas. So definitely across the board over different visas, we are looking at a reduced amount of backlog and, baby steps toward automation.
So the backlog has been because these applications are sitting on somebody's desk and then somebody has to decide. And in some cases, they were asking for a whole lot of paperwork that you say is illegal to ask for. That's incredible.
No, definitely. And when we are speaking about the directive that is to the several immigration missions, the minister has made it quite clear that officials and e-visa managers that were adding these unauthorized requirements are now expected to adhere to the official requirements. And he's given only 6 examples, but we can imagine that there are several others, including a minimum bank balance and consent from the applicant's employer or the education institution. And these requirements were also adding onto the backlog, considering, like we just said, the amount of automation that is actually sitting at Home Affairs. So it's a very simple change, but one that is actually going to contribute quite massively to how the private sector is doing its business.
And you spoke about a waiver for 12 months. Please explain what that is.
So basically, for a critical skills visa, you need both a SAQA and a professional body certification. It does come with a little bit of a complication because many of these professional bodies will only grant you a certification if you've got a SAPA certification. And unless professional bodies now revise to say they will consider membership provided you produce this professional waiver or this provisional waiver rather, this may present uncertainty for applicants. But the intention is very much applauded, and the Department of Home Affairs is very much commendable in terms of this move, even though there may be the complications. When it comes to the points-based system, DHA has not outlined that one of the items in which they are awarding these points is that your employer has to be part of the trusted employer scheme. But specifically to the waivers, it applies both to the critical skills visa and the general work visas, and those are two very important visas to business.
All right, and then finally, the remote work visa or visitor visa, that's not for a company here. It's somebody who wants to work from anywhere in the world. That can be a huge boost for tourism, for the economy, right?
Definitely. And one of the requests that business was putting at the feet of the ministry was that the previous immigration regulations had to be updated to reflect the amendments and additions of the actual remote work visas, and have to be updated and reference the correct definition of the Tax Act. And the current Third Amendment immigration regulations have those updates and also those amendments. And this is going to be incredible in terms of people that are working from their homes, and it's going to also ensure that the labor market is definitely seeing more people being employed, and more than anything, more people being employed quite easily.
All right, thank you very much, Sanelisiwe Yankees from Business Unity, South Africa. In other news, a large